Hey everybody, it's Card Fighter Hunter here, and today I have a deck profile. I know I have been quite lazy and I haven't really done much on my tentative schedule that I've put up there yet. There will be White Shorts tutorials coming soon, but the reason I've been delaying on that is because no one at my locals really plays White Shorts anymore, and for that matter, no one at my locals really plays Vanguard anymore either. So I think those games are kind of dying down. And yeah, so anyway, this is Eradicator's Eradicator deck profile, and this is the deck I took to the Pasadena Regionals, and I did fairly well until I got kicked out, but that's another video. This is just about the deck profile, and I have changed it a bit since the Regionals, so alright, let's get into it. My starting Vanguard is Ambush Dragon, Eradicator, Linshu. No, just kidding. My starter is Spark Kid Dragoon. I will be running Linshu when he comes out in set 10 next month, though, because he is pretty amazing. Very, very good card. I don't know why you wouldn't run him. He's one of the best starters in the game, in my opinion. So Spark Kid Dragoon is the starter I am using for now. He is the grade 3 searcher for Narukami, very good card. Not much to say about him, just searches for grade 3s, lets me run fewer grade 3s than I would want to otherwise. So for grade 3s, I'm running 3 Eradicator Sweep Command Dragon. He's amazing. His effect is when you ride him, you can move a card from your soul, or from your rear guard into soul, and then Limit Break, Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 2 when something is retired. Kill a front row and draw a card. So he is pretty amazing. He's pretty amazing. Oh, and he gets 5k on top of that. So if you break ride him and then use his limit break, he'll swing for himself by 26. Or he'll swing, yeah, by himself for 26. So he's a really good card. He combos fairly well with the next grade 3s, which is Eradicator Vowing Sword Dragon, which is the break ride for Narukami for Eradicators. Well, the first one. There are 2 more break rides that are for Narukami. One of them is coming out in set 14, and the other one was in Fighter's Collection, which is not being released in English as far as I know, because we already got cards from it released as promos, so we probably won't be getting it, which would kind of suck because there are some really good cards in that. I actually would run Shaper Sweep if I could, if he ever comes out in English. Anyway, his effect is when you ride a Narukami on top of him when you're at 4 or more damage, the new card gets 10k until end of turn, and you retire one of your opponent's front row. So a lot of people say that this card doesn't have any synergy with Vowing Sword, but I think it actually does, because you break ride and you retire something for free without having to put something in the soul and minus yourself, and then you counterblast 2, soul blast 2, draw a card, and retire another front row and, you know, and gain 5k. So I think it actually works really well. Not as well as with Electric Shaper, of course, but the fact that you don't have to minus yourself in order to activate his limit break, I think is very good. It's very good. So that's it for grade 3s. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep the Vowing Swords in when set 10 comes out. I'm debating on whether to run Gauntlet Buster Descendant or maybe a bit of both. Like 3-3-3 or something, I don't know. That sounds a bit cloggy, but then again, we'll have Caster, so I'm not too worried. Anyway, moving on. Grade 2s, running 4 Fiendish Sword Eradicator Cho-Oh. This card is amazing. He basically makes the deck run as well as it does. It triggers Sweep Commands effect, and he essentially has Sweep Commands on ride ability. When you call him to rearguard circle, or when you ride him, you can move an Eradicator from your soul, or from your rearguard into your soul. I did it again. I messed up the same thing again. And anyway, and retire a front row. Oh, I probably should have mentioned this. You have to kill a front row with this as well when you activate his on-ride skill, and it has to be an Eradicator that you put into soul. Same with Cho-Oh. So essentially, it makes him useful after you ride him. So you can, you know, break ride, counterblast 2, soul blast 2 plus 5k, draw a card, retire the front row, and then next turn, if they call back 2 more front row, you can do this, minus yourself 1, and then you get your card back, and then you retire their front row, and he gains 5k. So it's a very, very good card. There's a reason this card is double R, even though it doesn't seem that good. But yeah, Cho is amazing. Cho is amazing. He's not as useful in Descendant as he is in Gauntlet Buster, because with Gauntlet Buster you can just call 2 of these, eat up your field, and then your Gauntlet Buster will gain a bunch of crits, and if your Perfect Guard, or if your opponent doesn't have a Perfect Guard in hand, it's gonna suck for them. Anyway, moving on, 3 Spark Rain Dragon. He is the 12k attacker. I would actually run 4, but one thing, he's like 6 or 8, he's somewhere between $6 and $8 right now, which is really stupid for a 12k attacker, because you can only find him in the trial deck. And he is kind of useful, but at the same time, I do like running 4 10Ks, just because if you ride a 10K, sometimes it will prevent your opponent from rushing you like crazy. So yeah. Right now I'm running 3 Spark Rain and 3 Thunder Boom, although that's actually probably going to change when Descendant comes out. I'm probably going to run like 3 Cho-Oh, 3 Spark Rain, 3 Thunder Boom, and 3 Zuiton or something like that. Anyway, moving on. Grade 1s. 4 Wyvern Guard Gold, because we do not have Eradicator Perfect Guards until next month. And we gotta run 4 Perfect Guards. 4 Perfect Guards is a necessity pretty much these days because of all the stupid break rides running around. I've been saying that for forever, pretty much, for months, as long as they've been revealing break rides, that now that break rides are a thing, you pretty much have to run 4 Perfect Guards. So yeah, I'm very excited for Eradicator Wyvern Guard Gold coming out next month. For one thing, I actually like his artwork better, and obviously he has better synergy with the deck, even though this deck does not a special counterblast at all, but it still has better synergy with the deck if you're running Descendant or Gauntlet Buster or pretty much any other Eradicator. Moving on, 3 Steel-Blooded Eradicator Shuki. His name in Japanese, which I do have a Japanese copy of him somewhere, was Iron Blood Eradicator Shuki, but they changed it to Steel-Blooded Eradicator Shuki. I don't know what the difference there is. Yes, steel is stronger. His effect is when you have an Eradicator Vanguard, when one of your opponent's rear guards is retired, he gains 3k, and it doesn't matter if it's by the effects of your Eradicator. So if you're running Dragonic Death Scythe, he would still get the 3k, even though Death Scythe is not an Eradicator unit. Basically, he becomes a 10k booster. He's very, very good. I would probably run 4 of these in Gauntlet Buster because he's really, really great, really great. So yeah. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that, but there was an insane car screeching. I thought it was gonna run into our house or something. Anyway, moving on. 3 Demolition Dragon. He's the 10k attacker. The reason why I only run 3 is for one thing. Shuki can also hit 10. And also Shuki can go up to 13. He can become a 13k by himself for no reason. And the 10k is kind of conditional, because if your opponent, if you intercept with the thing that's in front of him and then you move him up and attack unboosted, he won't be able to hit your opponent's Vanguard. So basically, most of the time. I mean, there still are some times where it will, but in this meta of 11k break rides and cross rides, the 10k is not going to do much to push your opponent, especially if they have another attacker in hand. They'll be like, okay, and then they let it die, and then yeah, you pretty much wasted your attack for nothing. So yeah, 3 Demolition Dragon. I like his artwork, but he is not the best choice for this deck. I'm also running 3 Kokaiji, Eradicator Fire Kokaiji. And he is the tank. He's basically a Photon Bomber Wyvern clone. When it boosts a Narukami, it doesn't have to be an Eradicator. When it boosts a Narukami period, or Narukami Vanguard period, if the number of cards your opponent has is 3 or more, it's a 10k booster. So this deck is kind of weird because it runs 3 10k boosters, 3 12k attackers, or 3 10k attackers, and then 3 either. So it's a very sort of aggro deck, I guess, because you can make some really, really scary columns with these grade 1s. So yeah. And then lastly, I have 2 Rising Phoenix. I do find him to be a bit of a problem sometimes if I'm trying to go for Sweep Command's limit break. This will kind of get in the way of that. I've considered replacing him with the Vanilla AK, Red River Dragoon, but I like it for now. It does plus a lot for you in a place where, in a deck where you minus yourself a lot with Cho-Oh and Sweep Command, even though most of the time you do get your cards back. It's just you have to play them again from your hand, so then it is still sort of a minus. So he's just there to fill up your hand because you're going to be minusing yourself a lot with this deck. Moving on to grade zeros, other than the starter that I already showed you. For the Eradicator crit, 2 of the Malevolent Djinn, which basically is there to provide soul for Sweep Command, and I guess Rising Phoenix, and it also has the Margol skill, get 3k to something by moving him into soul. However, he's a 10k shield, so I actually don't find myself doing that a whole lot unless I'm like really trying to push for a game or something. Yeah. So 6 crit. Again, hang on. I'm gonna finish my trigger lineup here. 4 draw, 4 the Eradicator draw, and then 2 Kyonshi. And now I'm running 6 crit, 6 draw, and 4 heal, as you would probably assume. Sorry, this is kind of, yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm running 6 draw is, like I said, it's there to replace your hand because you're minusing yourself a lot. And survival is pretty much the reason this deck fails when it fails, because you just don't have a lot of cards in your hand because you're constantly eating up your hand and putting it into soul. It's almost like some weird like dark irregular thing, like Ammon. It's like you're playing Ammon. So I do like 6 draw. I mean, there are times where where my opponent will no guard me at 4, and then I won't get a crit and I'll get a draw instead, which does kind of piss me off at times. But I think it is better all around this way. Although when Descendant comes out, I'll probably be running 8 crit because the second Eradicator crit is coming out next month. 4 draw, 4 heal. Because it's not as heavy on your hand. Like, it's still heavy on your hand because Descendant makes you drop 3, but it's not as heavy on your hand as Sweep Command is, you know what I mean? So, anyway, I will be playing Descendant definitely. I'm just debating whether I'll have Gauntlet Buster or Vowing Sword as my second, grade 3 choice. Yeah, I won't be running the Superior Ride though, because Superior Ride sucks. I'll be running Lynchu. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.